got an image of me on a camel, but I can't, I don't know how to change that.
Okay, well, where it says video, just go there and click on it, and you should be able to be in person there.
Right.
Not so.
Ah, okay, that's a bit better. But you're taller than me,
Yeah, good.
so it may.
Well, that's a lovely one of you. You're super there.
Nice, David. You're on sound, so. I see. I don't know how to change my name. I'll let Karl.
Karen, are you going to read?
It just says I'm David
Looks like
Kippling.
it's echoing.
I did, yeah. There's Karen.
Okay. Oh, is anybody else going to move after Leslie gets on? It's like a puzzle. Everybody keeps moving. Whoa. Oh, they just got bigger.
Oh, they did change it. Okay,
Hello,
good.
Karen.
Hi.
Are you gonna read? Are you gonna read, Karen?
No, I think I'm just going to be a listener tonight.
Okay.
Aw. Oh, hi, Leslie.
I lost you. I can't find it. Wait a minute. I'm missing the page. Where are you? Oh, wait. No, how do I find you again?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Check.
Audio settings. Microphone.
She's over the hump, right?
Yes.
First name, last name.
Karl, help me with this microphone thing again.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, he is the electric mermaid. I didn't recognize the wall.
Oh, good, good.
Thank you. I'll remember one of these
Oh.
months.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi.
I lost
Check.
you.
Good.
Oh,
Okay. I didn't have the picture.
oh. They've changed Zoom around. I can see why Char goes crazy. They keep changing it. You get used to one way of doing it. Ooh.
I was hearing them.
Okay. Leslie, can you talk for a second?
Me? Yes. Can you hear me?
No, we're
No,
not hearing the
no,
Zooms.
she's talking, but I can't hear her.
Oh, I can hear her.
I can hear.
Hello, Karl.
No, Karl can't hear you.
But you can hear me.
I can hear you.
And I can hear
Mark
you,
can
too.
hear us.
Yeah, I can hear you both.
Karl can't. Derek can't.
I can hear Karl too.
Yeah, I can hear Karl. I can hear Derek. They
I
can't
can hear now. I can hear you, Kathy.
Oh, can you hear Leslie?
Check.
Yeah. Hello, Vicki. Oh, good.
Can you do another check, please? Say,
Yeah. Check 2, 3, 4.
Kathleen, can you hear me?
Kathleen, can you hear me okay out there?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Good. Thank you.
Do. Hello, Vicki.
You're easy to do.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Oh,
Steven's gonna make it.
obviously.
Steven's making it.
Who is?
Uh,
Oh, sure.
no,
Oh. Yeah, maybe
no,
you-
what's that? I wasn't count. I didn't. Sorry, I didn't. The came across and he thought it was kind of the nod. Just like, hey, I'm here for the same deal. So I just
Oh.
yelled at you. I usually
Yeah.
let me know. So I'm like, hey, Pete or whoever. Like,
I want to know, you still got snow in Germany?
Nobody's coming.
Yes.
I hope they don't cancel, but I don't think you.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's so freezing
We'd
cold
still
over
do
here.
open mics and, yeah, I'd be fine. Yeah.
For sure. Well, Kathleen's a redhead tonight. You never know. It's
No.
a big question, right?
No. Yeah. Is this, you know, Neal Evans? Is that?
yeah, no. She's been in before.
Oh, okay.
But I never knew that was. I always know it was Evans. I don't know what the Neal part was, and that's just how it is.
Okay. Yeah.
I think you know who she is.
Okay.
You'll see her.
No David tonight, Kathleen?
This is the
Oh,
first
he's just, he's editing.
January, right?
David edits to the very last minute.
Yeah.
I didn't think of for a second, but like, to me, I wanted to know this.
Sure.
It's okay, I understand. I'm like, no, we haven't. This is the first one back.
It is the first one back, yeah. So did you have a good holiday there?
Coming in.
Yeah, it was very good.
10 minutes.
Come home?
Well, that's not
I know, I'm like those actors who
Son
hide in the
town,
dressing
Another one in Toronto.
10
Yes,
seconds.
yes.
Say 10 seconds, Mr. Laurier.
Yes,
10 seconds, 9 seconds.
yes.
Is he the one that lived with you?
Yeah, for a little while.
Leslie said there's snow on the ground in
He's
Germany.
doing so much better.
Oh,
It
that's
just
Well, there
won't
was in
disappear.
Drinking.
We think it's over and then it comes back.
Oh,
Different person.
well, you had any more
He was
days off school?
no, there was no.
Yeah,
Jocelyn's
they
brother.
close school.
There was no.
Or in our state, they close it for like 2 or 3
tiptoeing around
days.
His anger. It was like he was human. It was great.
Well, that's good.
We had a fabulous time. Yeah.
We're going to Dortmund for the weekend.
Miracles happen.
Oh, that's right, for Hannes' show, right?
How was yours? Did you
Oh,
have?
super,
It went
super.
by so fast, but you know.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
that's exciting.
Getting ready for it.
yeah, I hope it doesn't snow because we got to get that train.
The way it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
are you gonna drive?
No, we're taking the train.
It's
Train.
taking down. It actually.
No. Hans isn't allowed to drive yet. You know, you have
Oh,
to,
yeah.
by law, you have to wait a certain period of time.
Oh,
for driving.
We got tough
Yeah.
this year. New Year's Day
but
was.
how long is it by train?
By the 3rd of January. I think we had everything packed.
A couple of hours. It's not
Yeah.
that far.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, because you don't have to do anything, right?
No. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yeah,
But no, it was good.
yeah, awesome.
But like you say, it's gone.
You're gonna stay the weekend there, or are you gonna?
Yeah, it's a
Well, we're going to stay the weekend. We have a hotel.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we're going to stay in the hotel.
yeah.
Hey, Cynthia. Haven't seen you forever.
I know. I have one of my students canceled tonight. I'm like, yes. So excited.
Oh,
Do you want to read? We have
Oh, I would
room.
love to. Yeah, that'd be so great. Thank you.
Perfect. We'll put you in. Number reader 12?
Reader.
Or if Stephen doesn't show up, we can put her in reader 3.
Yeah. No, Steve said he's coming, so.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 12.
Lenore and Sylvia, they used to go to, in Nanaimo, there was a readers group.
No, you're fine.
No, I told you.
Time or something.
Yeah, you did. And I got back to you. And I even got back to you. And before it's like, oh my gosh, I'm like, I hope they still see my email. Like, late. Emailing so late.
So Hannes is doing the choreography for this play, right?
Yeah.
Retelling.
Yeah.
In Nanaimo.
And is
And
it
he got Huh? He got
It's
a new
play.
job, he got another job, which he starts on Monday in a clinic
Oh, okay.
as a therapist.
Yeah. But this is a drama, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. hmm People think it's,
I love your
because
background, Cynthia. It feels like you should be like you're somewhere in paradise.
And it's actually Vancouver, like in the summer when it's beautiful.
Well, I was gonna say like maybe more like Hawaii or something.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, this is BC. I don't know if I touched it up a little bit though.
Good job. I gotta go back to.
So hi, Cynthia.
Hey, so nice to see everybody. It's so much fun.
It's great to see you too. It's been so, I can't remember when I last saw you. It's been so long.
I think when I hopped on the ferry and showed up in person, like probably 2 years ago, which was really fun.
Yes. Hey, Leslie.
Hi. Now you
How's the
can
weather
hear me.
in Germany?
Snow and freezing cold.
Okay, you keep it. I mean, it's cold here, but not snowing, except Monday. I think Monday it started to snow a little bit, and then it's like 2 above. Can't snow. But
We're back in the rain.
Now it's raining. I'd rather have rain than
More
snow.
rain. Yeah.
Some
No,
days.
they close the schools here, close everything here.
Oh, wow. No, that sounds like Ontario had that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ontario, Saskatchewan, Alberta.
Yeah. And south. Cynthia, I have to tell you how much I enjoyed your book launch the other day. That was lovely. Really
Well, it
nice.
meant so much to see you. That was so nice.
Oh, it was great. It was great. Yeah, lots of fun. I'm glad you joined us because I've got a poem I'm going to read tonight that I dedicated to you, so it's perfect.
So exciting.
Because I wrote it after the launch. I got it inspired by your,
Hello, Ronna.
some of your work. So it's all good.
Oh, there's the
Hi.
sure.
It's actually
Oh,
Ronna.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you for having me. It's Ronna.
Ronna?
Ronna.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to ask you. That's awesome. So nice to see you, Ronna. Welcome to the Electric Mermaid.
Yes, thank you for
Yeah,
coming out.
we're just-
Get to see know who you are in like I email a lot of people. I don't know who they are, and now to actually see the face, it's perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're all excited to hear your work. I'll confess, I peeked on YouTube and listened to some of your work there, and I'm just really thrilled. People are going to enjoy you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for peeking. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Are we like in a public place? We're in a public place as well as on some Zoom.
That's right. Yes. So Char's Landing is kind of the arts center in Port Alberni here. And it's like a little pub kind of setup, and so we do a hybrid where we have some live readers, we have open micers from all over. We've got like Lesli from Germany there. We have people in Ontario and around British
Jennifer.
Columbia. And
That's what I miss my Jennifer.
Yeah, it's kind of it went purely on Zoom during COVID, and then it just kind of, we hit the end of COVID and said, well, we don't want to just say goodbye to all the Zoom friends we've made, so we just kind of kept going as a hybrid. And
Great.
yeah,
That's great because then I can come and be on the West Coast even while I'm on the East Coast.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah, it throws the doors wide open.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And you're in Toronto?
Yeah.
Surviving the snow there, I understand it was pretty bad.
It's crazy. It's just, I don't know if you've seen the pictures, I guess. I don't think I've ever seen it like this. It's
well,
definitely
I grew up in London, and I can remember some pretty wicked snow days when I was a kid there in London, Ontario. But that some of the crashes on the 401 certainly looked horrific. Oh my goodness, very bad. Very
Yeah,
bad.
I wouldn't want to be driving, to tell you the truth. No.
Yeah, terrible. Anyway, hopefully that'll be it. It's just about time for winter to say enough, and we'll see what the groundhog does on February 2nd.
Okay.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, she's reading over those.
So we've got a pretty full slate, and as I told you,
Okay, that's fine,
Ronna,
that's
you're
fine.
going to be reader number 3. So there'll be a couple of open micers ahead of you, and we'll get started here in probably about
If
3 or
I
4
just want
minutes.
to say thank you in advance in case I don't stay on after. It's quite late for me here. So,
Yeah,
but I'm
totally
excited.
understand. No problem.
Thank
I'm
you.
just grateful to have you here. Well, we got you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
There's Jen. Hello, Jen. How
Yes.
are you?
Yes, I was like, "Where's my Jennifer? Where's my Jennifer?" I have her on the list. She better show. She better show.
I'm here. Can I share my screen when I do my thing?
Yes, I think you can. Once Char's ready to do that, she'll let you know.
Not for all of it, but for one. Yeah, one of the two.
Yeah, no problem. Char, our master technician, will tee it up, I'm
Barbara.
sure.
Absolutely.
She heard already. She's cued.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
We couldn't do it without her. We would be a mess here.
I'm feeling the love, feeling the love. Yeah, it's a group effort. Okay, and then the thing is,
KL Kibby.
these, I don't know if Derek knows, but these are guests.
Assuming they all know Ronna. No, I'm not. I was going to talk to them. Welcome to our guest. I'm assuming that they all know our feature reader. I hope that's what I'm thinking, or could be friends. Hi.
Come on. Hey.
She does have some poetry that she has written. She's never she's really proud of her poetry, but she may or may not read though. That's all. She might get just get never done before. So that's expected. Can she still have a spot?
Yeah. Yeah, if you have something you memorized, you can just come up when. Yeah. Welcome to Barbara and Kiev. I probably said it wrong. Welcome. Okay. There we are. Well, she can just go back to that spot. We can just leave her where she was. If she wants to read.
Yeah. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And
okay, we got Eric P. Welcome, Eric P. And welcome to all our guests that are here to listen to Electric Mermaid. I'm assuming you're here to hear the feature reader, or maybe somebody else that you know on Zoom. Maybe, I don't know. Eric P., are you going to read or listen? You can just message me. I already got my thing up here. Just listen, yes. Perfect.
so I'm not seeing Stephen here.
Yeah, I don't see Steven either, so I don't know what's going on there. So we can always just rearrange things.
Yeah. There we go.
I'm assuming
we're good to go.
Yeah, you did. Okay. Electric Mermaid Emcee Derek Hanebury is a Port Alberni writer of poetry, fiction, and creative nonfiction who taught writing here at North Island College for many years. His new book, Something Else, is already out. Altogether is out.
Thank you, Karl, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Electric Mermaid, first one in the new year, 2026, and it's going to be a good one. I think we've got lots of open micers lined up, and of course we've got our featured reader, Ronna Bloom, standing by in Toronto waiting to share some of her poetry with us. So it's going to be a great evening. We're zooming to you from beautiful downtown Port Alberni on the unceded territory of the Hipetcheseth and Sishat First Nations. And we're grateful to them and their ancestors for sharing their land with us. And grateful as well to Char at Char's Landing here, which is this beautiful arts hub in Port Alberni. I don't know if you can, for those out in Zoom land, if you might be able to see the Mermaid hanging from the rafters in the back there, the local arts rave people built a few years ago, and that's sort of been our guiding light for this, for the naming of the Electric Mermaid. And the Mermaid has now been joined by an octopus, and there's of course a salmon in the background because we're the salmon capital of Canada here in Port Alberni. So that's been here for a while. Anyway, we're very excited to hear everybody tonight and see how the evening evolves. So we're going to get started right away. And our first reader we're going to go to online here in Zoomland to Germany. And Lesli Omohumdro Bronczowski is waiting there to share some work. Oh, pardon me. I'm off to a bad start. Make that Bryce is standing there in the wings over on the lower mainland there, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Where did you go, Herb? Now you...
Oh, hi.
There you are.
You.
Okay.
Just
So
remind me, how much time do I have?
You have 5 minutes, Herb.
Okay.
And did you find your video button there to click on?
I've been struggling to try to change the picture, but I can't make it work.
Okay. Well, we'll go with the dark
I'm going to have to
screen.
call in help.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, thank you. I have 3 poems. This is my current blog. It's up on Facebook now. It's called My Feet Were at Loose Ends. My feet were at loose ends. My mind was in the abstract. I had no destination in my mind, so I set out to find my fellow kind. I met a man. He was both slim and fat. He wore his hat upon his eyebrows, and through his pout he spoke wise words that left me floundering like a flightless bird. I met another man who was an overcoat with feet in boots and had no legs. He had no mouth, he spoke no in rhymes, which he offered me for a clutch of dimes. I met a man who was all talk, talk, talk. He asked him for some wise advice. He spoke in riddles, much like a sphinx. I tried to cash in on them. They became a jinx. My feet were at loose ends. My mind was in the abstract. I had no destination in my mind, so I set out to find my fellow kind. An old philosopher told me not to judge, so I believed the next man that I met, with all my money and all my trust, only to find my wallet filled with rust. I met a smart old teacher once I had. She advised me to take up teaching, but alas, I had no special training, so I flubbed my chance at classroom reading. Oh, I met so many men, they all rolled up as one. I became so weak and weary of their babble, I realized it was me to whom I should turn to cut my own path based upon what I learned. So now I stride, my path is wide, my mind is open, my arms invite, and men with hats now have necks, and mouths have smiles like open checks. So under all of our disguises, we're all the same. We're only folk. We love a song, we love a joke. We all crave love, and not a poke. Here's a tribute to my late friend Angus, who passed with cancer recently. We gather ourselves in coffee shop. We order coffee, we take a seat, and we click our cups. And without stop, ignore the buzz. Get to work, him and me. Solving problems, flying ideas on savage wings, throwing haws and punctuation hems, chuckle, laugh, guffaw at ourselves, and parsing poems, singing giants, praising elves. We need to urge each other's snail to slither on until we nail the part of plot that fits the tale and says something that will not fail. We upside down the metaphors, we play with syntax, turn the tune, we chew upon the poetry bone, then we yodel like an excited loon. We take our symbolic brooms, clean out our cobwebs from our brains, exercise our mental bronze, and tickle our painful practices with blinds. And in the end, when time is up, we clear the tables of all debris, toast each other with coffee cup, and off to see what world that we can see. A bond we share in poetry which will never slip. Coffee with Angus, face to face with friendship. And to close, I chose one out of my manuscript, which is going to be in my next book as soon as I get it out there. Miss Alberta. You moved in down the way, and I fell in love with you. That smile, oh, that smile of yours. You won me at first glance. Your cheerful ways, your generous waves, the happy, how are you, greetings, always made me smile, chased all blues away. But today, when I looked your way, your place had gone quite empty. No wave from you, no chirpy good day. Just a sad and oh, so empty way. Sorry to leave you on a sad one, but love is love. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Herb, and most enjoyable. And I love that smile, like an open check. An open check would make anyone smile. Great.
Thanks.
Awesome. Good work at the meter there, as Cynthia noted in the comments.
Oh,
all
thank
right,
you.
in the chat. Let's go to Lesli now. That got you all primed. Lesli, your heart kind of just had time to return to normal, and now it's got to get beating hard again. So what are you going to share with us this evening?
Actually, I'm working on a story, but I haven't finished it yet. So I decided I would just read an anecdote about when I became a German.
Sounds good.
On August 30th, 2016, after 39 years of living in Germany, I became a German citizen. Before the official words in the ceremony in the Festhalle in Winsenlohe, for all of us who were becoming Germans that day, people of all ages from all over the world, I was given a certificate and a new identity card. In the end, we new Germans toasted each other with a glass of champagne. Then it was over. On the way home, I imagined my children waiting impatiently in the house for me. They had decorated the house and put up a sign saying, "Welcome to the new German," over the front door. Ute from across the street and Barbara from around the corner would be there. Certainly Manuela, who had, of course, baked me a cake. This was to be a real celebration. I checked my watch. Hans and I would be home by 6, which meant there'd be snacks too for the hungry who'd missed lunch. But when Hans and I got home, there were no children and no friends, no champagne, no presents, no sign over the door. The house was empty. Hans changed his shirt and disappeared into his study. "Oh, it's over?" the kids said when I called them on the phone. "Great." Chrissy added, "Mama, you've always been German anyhow." From the beginning, my friends in Germany seemed to think that life was easy for me in here, coming as I did from a Western culture with the comforts of modern society. Televisions, washing machines, hot water all the time, supermarkets. As if that were enough. They didn't seem to realize that it was years before I became so immersed in the German culture that I felt at home in it. Years before I got used to living in a foreign country without my parents, my siblings, my cousins, my friends, my language, my customs. How often I felt like a tree which had been transferred to new soil and needed time before I could bear fruit again. I was a young adult when I first arrived in Germany. I had to learn the language, the metric system, the humor. I had to learn that German people don't just stop by unannounced for an afternoon visit. I had to learn how to grocery shop in a country where everyone seems to always be in a rush for food that I had no idea how to cook. Later, when I had kids, I, who had never seen the inside of a German school or even heard of a Schultüte or Ranzen or Uhu, had to find the courage to ask strangers to explain the list of things to buy for the kids' first day of school. When they were in school, it was me who had to practice Kopfrechnen, adding together numbers from right to left and using numbers spoken from right to left, and listen for hours at a time to the strange stories on the tape of Bibi Blocksberg and Die Fünf Freunde. I also had to get used to the endless stares, being pointed at, remarks about my skin color, the questions about where I was originally from. Nobody was satisfied when I told them I was from the USA. When I tell them stories about living in Germany, Americans wonder why I don't leave, why I just don't pack my bags and run as fast as I can back to America. Doesn't it bother you that people in supermarkets single you out of the line to stare because of your skin color or ask to buy your children? I mean, how can you live with such open racism? And aren't there still a lot of Nazis running around there? Are you even safe there? Of course, the Germans used to ask me the same question. They don't say it directly, of course, but they, knowing their own history, wonder if I would stick it out in this country. It's one thing to live in a big city, especially in a harbor city like Hamburg, where the population is culturally diverse anyhow. But in the middle of a conservative farming village, it can't be easy being the fly in the buttermilk. An immigrant can never go back, pack up her bags, and return to where she started, just like that. It's not like daylight savings times, where you just move the clock back and relive the hour you just lived. In real life, you can't walk backwards into another time zone and pick up your life where you left off more than 40 years ago, starting again on memories of once upon a time. Once you leave it, it's not your land anymore. No one waits for you. Your friends don't put their lives and time into low gear, waiting for the day you return. Nobody leaves the seat next to them empty, so you can slip back in as the naive young girl you were when you left. No one calls you up to head for the mall in the afternoon. Not even your best friend, who swapped friendship rings with you in the 7th grade and cried when you left, does that. You give up your seat for good. When you come for a visit, they ask, who's this woman with the weird clothes and the odd accent, and not the least bit of interest in who's who in this town. You've become a stranger, a friendly woman with who old friends take out to lunch and ask if you'd like to go to church with them on Sunday, making sure, when the service is over, that you sign the visitor's book.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. That must have been quite a moment to take that on and say, okay, I'm finally going to become a citizen. Can I ask you why you waited so long?
Because it was Germans don't like double citizenship. It wasn't allowed in those days, and I had to wait until I was old enough, until I had a really good excuse that they couldn't decide, because they weren't giving double citizenship, and Americans charge a fortune to give it up. You can't just give up Americans. You pay through the nose when you want to give up your American citizenship, and I couldn't afford it, so I had to wait.
Wow.
I mean, it's not something you think about. You just lived your life,
Yeah. Fascinating. Well, thanks for sharing that, Lesli. It was awesome. Alrighty, we'll let you get back to resting there, and we're going to have our featured reader now. So Ronna has been patiently waiting there in Toronto for us. And for those of you who don't know, Ronna has been around poetry for a long time. How many books now? 9 books of poetry?
8.
8, sorry. And her selected, and now in the Riptides, the latest one, which I think you're going to read from tonight, but I'm not sure. There we are. Beautiful. So we're really, really excited to hear, and as I was mentioning to her before we got started here, I peeked on YouTube and listened to a few of her poems, and she's a wonderful poet that writes accomplished poetry that is also, I think, very accessible, and I'm sure that everyone is going to really enjoy it. So, Ronna, I'm going to give you the floor for about 20 minutes or so to read, and then we'll have time for a bit of Q&A afterwards. So if you have any questions for Ronna, please hang on to them till then. It's all yours. Take it away.
Thank you. Thank you, Derek, and Karl, and Char, and if I missed anybody, for inviting me. It's pretty cool to be in Port Alberni and in Toronto at the same time under that mermaid, under that electric mermaid. So thank you very much. I'm going to read from In a Riptide, and I will start with the very first poem in the book because it sets up the whole structure of the book, and I'll tell you how it works after I read that poem. Immeasurable. Today, a woman of no measurable age stopped me to ask where she could buy some meat. And her eyes filled up with tears when it seemed too far or impossible, and every shop was closed. I could do nothing but stand there vibrating in the hesitant spring. We were just two more meandering women in the empty street, some of us looking down, as though illness could pass through the eyes, others looking up, sending out our million help me messages. We stood there with nothing obvious passing between us but time. Then she smiled and went away. And I thought of the 4 people the Buddha met in his travels. Sick person, old person, dead person, happy person with nothing. And I felt like all of them. So the book is in 4 sections: sick person, old person, dead person, happy person with nothing. And I'm going to read a few from each of those sections, starting with the sick person. And that section's called To Show the Scars, sick person. Area 3. A man is called to Area 3. He walks in after his wife, slowly pushing his walker. His running shoes squeak on the floor and his black sweatpants are loose. Because I know what kind of doctor this is, I know what part of the body is being touched. I feel like both the wife and the husband. I march ahead, then drag my feet. Afterwards, outside the hospital on the long road that runs north to trees and south to water, I turn to look at myself and wait for one of us to speak. So in this book there are a few very short poems, like 2 lines. So I'm going to read one of these 2-line poems. It's a title and 1 line. Lyrical Hospital. Who is your mercy contact? Things he said last time we visited. You smell like cloves and eucalyptus. Please spray some of that in my sleeves. I'll have a popsicle, lemon. Do you have more of that foot energy? Is the canister full? Thank you. I love you. I like that sweater. It makes sense you're here during these Gnostic rituals. I hope to go to Bridgepoint and have a big end-of-life celebration with all my friends. Do you consider yourself more a therapist or a witch? I've always liked citrus. It's the Earth's magnetic field. You're like the mother I need now. You are the mother I need now. I'd like to try the mango lassi. For 10 billion years, old person. One night, in 1 minute, I slept a whole night. In one night, I slept a whole minute. The world changed completely while I was gone. Dearly ignored. This message is being relayed to you from inside your cells, where you feel the ratcheting, the sour wounds. Which of the many can raise their invisible mitochondria and wave, "Me, I have been festering for 10 billion years since the dawn of the Pleistocene"? I believe you. These are wounds, recognizing wounds, saying, "We exist." Are we talking past lives? I have no answer, but traces, even without memory. Once you were running in the desert and saw a hut and thought it was near, but you ran and ran and it was still far. Near and far are so confusing. Wounds are like that, constantly appearing on the horizon. I can feel you wanting me to find something positive here. Please let's not rush. Dearly ignored. For how long have they misread your name, calling you beloved when you felt none of it? This too is your birthright. The wince of having been brought here and told, "Be happy." And the surprise when happiness indeed came up within you like an infant singing in their bed, their arms wound around their head. But who can really remember being that baby? Maybe in a dream when you feel that lurch awake in the middle of the night, you will know it's you I've been talking to. Take in a slow breath to know the air within you is also around you. No better or worse. Same air. Ignored and beloved. Thank you. Oh, another very short poem. Also 2 lines. Title and 1 line. Sisyphus gives up. Carry your own stone. So good to hear laughing. Dear Now, many people are trying to get in touch with you. They have a lot on their minds. But you, dodgy fucker, you keep coming up no or ow. You, dazzler, shift and shift again. Your function, if you have one, is to mesmerize so we can't actually see you. A flash of light strobes to my left as you turn over beside me in bed, whisper, "Now." Did I see you? Did I turn around and turn into salt? Could I stare into your eyes like the eyes of the sun and keep seeing? Something doesn't want me to look. Over here it motions to the last minute or the next. Why so invested in invisibility? Is this how you do your great and terrible work? There's no tracking you. You are nowhere, and nowhere is now here. I want to stay up with you all night and get my questions answered. Thank you. Where am I? Okay. I think one more from this section. Yeah. Emotions at work. Anger and exhaustion walk out together on the old road in the rain. Fear goes shopping, covers its mouth. Grief takes a nap, wakes up grieving. Laughter is wandering the neighborhood where I live and the one where you live, trying to find some mouths. Disgust is spitting on itself. Don't look at me. Love appears unexpectedly, like the smell of pizza when the box is opened, like a mountain after months of fog. Oh, I love, I just so I love that there, I can see the Zoom people. I can't see the people in Char's Landing, but I hear you. So it's sort of like a ripple response, which is just gorgeous. Thank you.
Yeah.
The earth held me, dead person. All day I look at things. On Thursday at X o'clock, the nice doctor will give her the shot and she'll go. I plan to be there with her children, the new elders. All day I walk around in 30-degree heat, my toe rubbing the inside of my leather shoe, reddening. Soon it will bleed. If I were dying Thursday, this might be the last smoke bush I see, its red hair on fire. And buying ginger ale at the corner store, I stare at the purple $10 bill a long time. Viola Desmond's face, maybe the last purple $10 bill. My last tea at Annapurna. I don't tell the friendly server I won't be back. Somewhere the waves of the sea are biblical. Somewhere a ship is capsizing. Somewhere there is a hurricane, a fire, a herd of elephants, a boy on a pink tricycle, a garden with a long table set for dinner with tea lights. Bye, world. Bye. What I noticed tonight is I'm reading a few poems that I've never read before, and it's nice to have them out there in the world. This one that I'm about to read, I don't think I've ever read before. The Night the Rhinos Came. The night the rhinos came, we had nowhere else to look. They were not accusatory, but trotted toward us like big dogs. One turned her face left to show us her profile, batted one eye at ours, and fluttered there. To watch a 3,000-pound animal flutter is a great gape of awe. The children shriek, "He's looking at me!" For size is often male and scares or flatters us with its attention. But she has nothing to do with that and trots away. If this were a dance, we might bow and leave her. But someone among us is dreaming power, will buy a rifle, run out and begin the killing, is already having nightmares, planning their illustrious future. It's still possible to love how small we are in the face of her face. Don't close the door to the door to the door. Happy person with nothing. Sisyphus goes skiing. I'm writing to you from the top of the mountain. Dear friends, let me tell you, I never expected life to take such a turn. Icarus just brought me molten chocolate in a paper cup, and we sit before a fire with our feet up. This house is of a kind I've never seen before, built of stones I didn't carry. But someone did. Someone got here before me, before us, and left this place. What did they destroy for our pleasure? What did it cost them? I don't want to think of it. It's teeming with the young in brilliant colored, stretchy outfits and the strangest boots. Big boots the gods from my childhood might have worn, but made of unreal fibers and heavy, so heavy. But the thing is, I got here and I was carrying nothing. Just 2 sticks to help me walk on these long pieces of wood. I sat in a chair that lifted me high into the trees, so high I could see the stars in their branches. And I made it. Am resting, ich and I so close to the sun, and I never want to go back down. I think this might be my last poem. It's a little tiny bit longer. And so in the 1600s, there was a poet named, sorry, my friend has sent up like a cry laugh emoji that I'm loving. Thank you very much. So in the 1600s, a poet named Christopher Smart wrote a poem called For I Will Consider My Cat, Joffrey. And it's this really great poem, so you could go find it and read it. And based on that poem, I wrote this one called For I Will Consider the Awareness. For I will consider the awareness breaking into me. For it is a thief, but what it takes costs less than what it offers. For it is forked and forking, and I am its receptor. For it is shocking as an electric socket and has been in the walls all this time. For it is indivisible, but seems to divide me into Louisa Casati's face in that photo by Man Ray where her eyes are vibrating. For it makes my eyes vibrate, and the rest of me. For firstly, it comes to me in the night and is not tender. For secondly, it pokes me nightly, saying, you awake, you awake. For thirdly, in the night it holds court, speaking its languages into my vibrato, my fascia, my organs, my aura. For fourthly, it plays my organs with an inexhaustible source of tunes. For fifthly, when I'm exhausted, it is never tired. For awareness is never tired. For sixthly, its company is eternal. For seventhly, it has not learned to make me a sandwich, but tells me when it's time. For it is free. For it is never not there. For it is astonishing, untarnished, and shining. For it cannot be touched. For it is radiating. Thank you.
Wow, those are beautiful, beautiful poems, Ronna. Thank you so much. Transporting and thought-provoking and humorous and deeply spiritual and yeah, wonderful, wonderful. So I'm going to tell everybody now your books are available at ronnabloom.com. So they can go there and pick up their copy as soon as they get out of here or have a chance. I know I'm gonna. And we're going to open it wide open here now if anyone has any questions they'd like to ask Ronna. For those in-house at Char's, just come up and use Karl's microphone so everybody can hear your question. For those people out there in Zoomland, you can just unzoom and make your presence known. I'm going to start off to ask you, do you do hospice work or you just have had experience in that? Because there was authenticity in those poems you were reading that touched on that.
I was a poet in residence at Sinai Health in Toronto for about 7 years. And so, and before that I was a psychotherapist, so I came with a health background. But then being right in the hospital was wonderful, and I did workshops there with staff, and I wrote people poems on the spot, and I prescribed poems for staff and patients and family members, and just like walking around and just witnessing everything. The book before this one, no, the two books before, the book called The More is the book that's very focused on the hospital. And unfortunately that's out of print, but then the book of selected poems, A Possible Trust, has some poems from the main poems from the hospital. And then this, obviously, it still carries the flavor of that time. And also, a lot of this book was written during COVID. So illness, death, dying. And of course, I'm aging. So I'm seeing it around me with people I love. So it's... Yeah.
Beautiful. I love that idea of prescribing poems. It makes me think of the the Tibetan mandala makers, that when people had illness, they would go to the mandala maker who would make them a mandala to meditate on and get the healing vibration from the mandala to take care of their illness. And poetry is vibration as well and has that healing capacity. So lovely.
Wow, I've never heard that, Derek. Thank you so much. That's beautiful. Vibration, yeah, poetry has vibration. I'm just like, I like this line from Herb Bryce. We chew upon the poetry bone. I was like, holy cow, what a great line.
Yeah, fabulous. All right, anyone out there have a question you'd like to pose to Ronna? Anything about her background or writing?
Don't be shy.
So,
ask me anything.
No. All right.
What made you start to write?
Well, I think it was more like urgency, a kid. I was like, it's very classic, right? 12 or 13, nobody really that is getting me. And so I started a diary with a vengeance, as a way of like, putting my words down somewhere that they would at least be received by the paper. And that carried me for years and years until, it really was only... it was very circuitous. I became a photographer and I made videos, and it was really only in my early 30s that I started to become more serious about the poems as poems.
Fabulous. And with a name like Ronna Bloom, I think you were destined to become a poet. But I noticed on YouTube as well that you do a lot of that, where you'll just sit down and write poems spontaneously for people, which I am in awe of. Wendy Morton from Victoria, I don't know if you've ever heard of Wendy, but she does the same thing and has that capacity to just be in the moment and create something that will resonate for the person. And so how did that evolve? Did you just decide to start doing that one day, or?
Well, it was a couple of things. So I developed a job at U of T called Poet in Community, which was not a poet in residence. I wasn't there to write my own work. I was there it was a service job. I called it a service job. And so I was there to create workshops for students that would perhaps offer them a way to integrate different parts of themselves that had been siloed off. Like, they were a chemistry student and they were a Muslim and they were a basketball player, and these parts didn't really have any way to connect, but maybe through a writing workshop, this stuff would just come out and they wouldn't have to share it, but they could share it. So it was a job that it ran for 15 years in U of T. And early on, I just was a bit of a machine of workshop machine, and I thought of things to do in the context of the university. And at their orientation fair, I think this idea came from Natalie Goldberg. I think she talks about spontaneous poetry booths in her book, Writing Down the Bones. And it came back to me, and I thought, I'm going to do that. I'm going to just do it. And I had never done anything like it, and it scared the shit out of me. And it really blew me wide open, because I had to decide that I was going to write whatever came, good or bad. I really had to say, this isn't about it being a good poem. It's about hearing as much as I can about what that person is conveying to me, and then giving it away and letting go. So it very much was really what led me to my meditation practice, because I was so blown open by doing that I wasn't sleeping. And it's quite a thing, to enter with someone else, that kind of intimacy with a stranger.
I was going to say, what a way to nail down that dodgy fucker of the now. But doing that,
yes,
that you wrote about. I love that poem. Dear Nell, a letter to the now. That was brilliant, just brilliant. Well, yeah.
So I have a question.
Go ahead.
Ronna, there are a lot of Greek gods. Why does Sisyphus keep showing up?
I don't know. It's funny. I mean, I went to Hebrew day school. We certainly didn't learn much about Greek gods, anything. But somehow Sisyphus is the only one that I can keep in my head. And maybe it's because it's like pushing this stone. It resonates with me. The others all felt too elaborate, and I couldn't figure out who's Persephone and who's Demeter. Like what? Underworld. Like there was too much going on. Sisyphus just grabbed my imagination, and it was so easy to play with. Sisyphus shows up 3 times in this book, which seems bizarre, but I just went with it. And ick.
Yeah.
Ick. They're my favorite. They do show up. Like really, I don't have a lot to say about it. They just show up and say hi.
Yeah. Well,
thank you for asking.
You get great mileage out of them, and yeah, I love that short poem about him deciding to not do it anymore. Put the stone down. It's as easy as that. And sometimes I think that's how we get to the now. It just that decision has to be made, right? Beautiful.
Okay, David wants to speak.
David, go ahead there. David Kippling.
Yeah, thank you. That series called Awareness, I think was great. I don't write poetry. I can't write poetry. I like reading it. But somehow when I heard you read those poems and you wrote them, this thing, awareness then meant to me seeing that it was real, that you had made those poems. And, quite often in the world, I see somebody do something physical or something with a machine, and I'm aware, and that's possible. I'm not going to do it. I can't do it, or I won't. I know that's it. And so it's kind of unusual. It's rare for me to hear a poem and hear the poet read it, and the word awareness there. I thought, yeah, now I'm aware. So that was very good. Those poems were alive. So I'm still not going to write poetry.
That's okay. I love your response so much, David. Yes, that's it. Like it's the whole feeling for me with poetry is if the poem can transmit the energy that you just showed, then it's doing its job. So I'm delighted. Thank you for saying that. Yeah. You never have to write a poem.
Oh, I think David should try writing poetry. You'd have fun. Yeah. Beautiful.
I have a question. Just regard a writing process question. What is your revision process like? And especially in light of the fact that when you were working in community, you were writing poems on the spot, did that actually affect your revision process for poems?
In the writing on the spot, there isn't any time for revision, right? When I'm going to give it away. However, in this book, there is one poem that I wrote in the poetry booth. I want to say that was successful enough to come into this book and didn't have very much editing at all. What is the editing process? I don't know how to answer that. Could you be more specific? Is there something about it?
I just wonder that just in listening to your poems, and I mean, this is what it should be like, I think, is every word has meaning. Nothing is wasted, which is, we're always told that's what you want in your poetry. And I'm just wondering, do you find that just it comes out that way? Or do you actually have to go back after your first
Right.
draft? Like how does that look for you?
Some of the poems come out like that if I'm lucky. But I'm just thinking of one poem in the book called May I, which I sent and was in the Malahat Review. And then when I was coming to put it in this book, I thought, I think that whole last stanza could just go. I just want to get rid of it. And suddenly it lifted off the ground, without it. So sometimes later I can see more clearly that this is extra. This is just bogging this down. I couldn't see it before. Like everything, you can't see until you see, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what I'll edit if I see later this isn't necessary. And then I'm not attached to it. It's like, get rid of it if it's gonna weigh down the poem. Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
I have a question in relation to that, which is, do you ever add or is it mostly subtracting when you're doing the editing?
It is mostly subtracting. I've started to write prose. I mean, over the last 5 years, I've been writing prose, and that's where I add. Like, I noticed that, like, I think it's a poem. I've written something that's like a stanza or like a paragraph. I think, oh, it's a prose poem. And then I'm walking in my neighborhood and I keep thinking, oh, I want to add. So I keep adding. That's the place, seems to be where in prose I allow myself to get bigger and bigger. But with poetry, I think distillation is my habit. How clean can I make it? I seem to rarely add. Yeah.
What are you working on these days?
I'm working on an essay, I think. It's just in my notebook right now about reading. It's called Why I Don't Read Novels. That's what it's called right now, but it's main up. And I'm editing an essay that's going to be in Brick magazine in June, which is nice. And I have a manuscript of poetry called Unusual for a Woman that is out there looking for a publisher right now. So these are essays, poems, different machines going.
So I know you have various essays you've published over the last few years. Is there any thought of making a collection and looking for a publisher?
Help me. Yes, there's a lot of thought of that. It's just that I don't know. I keep waiting for some idea or someone that I'll work with, some editor that I'll say, oh, I want to work with that person who will read all through and help me see what is linking these essays, or does anything have to link them? Could it be a book without it? So yes, I'm definitely, it's there in my mind. I almost applied to Banff, and then I missed the deadline to work on it. I just can't yet see how it goes together, but there's certainly enough of them, and I love writing them. I don't know why so much I love them. So thank you for that question.
You've put it out in the universe now, Ronna. I'm sure it's going to come into fruition very soon.
Oh,
Manifestation happens quickly these days. So anyway, we're going to have to wrap it up there, but I just want to say thank you so much for sharing your work and the after chat as well. Yes, big rounds of applause here at Char's and out there. It was great. Reminder for everybody, if they want a copy of any of Ronna's work, ronnabloom.com. They can go there and make that happen. So, and I understand it's getting late in Toronto, so don't feel like you have to stick around, but we're really grateful that you stayed on board here long enough to share that beautiful work with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much to everyone at Char's Landing and beyond. Bye.
Okay. Thank you. Take care. All right, and a reminder to people out there that in Zoomland, if you want to send a little donation to Char's Landing to keep things happening here, it would be much appreciated at electricmermaidreads@gmail.com. You can go there and e-transfer a little donation if you're feeling so inclined. That'd be wonderful. All right, I think we're going to come in-house. Yes, we are, and we've got Stephen Novik in the wings there waiting to light up the stage with some of his poetry. Good evening, Stephen.
Oh, hello, Derek. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I just thought read some poems, because that's what I like to do. So
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, here I am.
There we are.
And so, okay.
On the sound, you want him to keep talking there, Char?
It's like getting ready for Hollywood over here.
Yeah. Just hang on. We're just going to bring makeup in here. Just do your, while we're waiting here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Everybody hearing Stephen okay out there in Zoom land?
I hope so.
Kathleen, can you hear that? David gives me thumbs up. Okay, thank you.
So, in this first poem I want to share with you today, are we ready? Okay.
We're good.
This first poem is entitled, Is the Price of Bananas a Poem? So, is the price of bananas a poem? Is the missing puzzle piece a poem? The escaping steam from the kettle, the ink that refuses to leave the pen, the oft-repeated theme of missing you, the fact that I've had sandwiches every day for a month, the thought that I can't write down fast enough, the paint on my hand, the blood on yours, the time of day, the occasion of night, the howling of dogs, the hissing of snakes, the flushing of cheeks, the salve in your eye, charges against police, questions asked of soldiers, politicians under scrutiny. Now that's a laugh. Diagnosis under the microscope, the spy under duress, the knight under the specter of chivalry, the magician under the spell of success, the salesman under pressure, the surgeon under his own steady gaze, the martyr above it all, the hangman's last meal, the rhyme without season, the soup without season, the brakeman's exhaust, unheard rail yard sounds, gymnasium murals, the crowd without the tree, the rerun you've never seen, syndicated Schenectady, the deviation with just cause, the perversion without soul, the itch never satisfied, the phrasings you just can't forget, the story behind, the lie out front, the trick of the light, my next thought, the attitude with an explanation, the altitude without exploration, the coke of the crack, the play without words, the camp without ground, the incomplete mystery, the end in sight and the trail behind it, the admitted idiot, the limp running joke, the singer under the spotlight, the oil under the ground that supports us all. Now, the aisles of candy, this gamut of colas, this range of potato chip flavors is my next thought. This poem, is the price of bananas just the cost of living in that moment healthy? What else did I come in here for? And number two is, I don't know, are these classics of mine? Okay. Don't take this poem seriously. Don't take this poem seriously. I have a confession to make. I'm a serial killer. Mass murderer. Every year I kill by the dozens. My green mile is suddenly brown. I take no pleasure in it. The Quick and the Dead is a how-to title in my hands. I wish I could stop. I mean, it goes against my astrological nature. I'm a Taurus. I'm an earth sign, a homebody, but I suck at gardening. I can make cacti wilt. I don't know what comes over me. Nature should take its course, but I don't know how much water the flowers need. I don't know when the prime watering time is. I suck at gardening. All my victims are on display in the front yard, drooped over in drought, despair, and death. And where was my silent partner, Rain? And that snake in the grass of garden hose coiled up there around the side of the house? If I had a flute, I would play you awake. But now approaches winter, and my house arrest thoughts turn to the warmth of the sun and a fresh crop of opportunities to get it right next time. Don't take this poem seriously. I suck at gardening. And one. Brown thumbs matter. And one more. How far will you go, Captain, in your bedsheet cape? How far will you sail, Captain, out on the open seas? How distant can you travel, Captain, in your wildest dreams? How many lives can you save, Captain, with the right decision? How many smiles can you make, Captain, with the right joke? To where will you visit, Captain, in deep outer space? What do you really want, Captain, now that you're in command? Night.
No captain, my captain. Thank you, Stephen, for the entertainment as always. And I'm glad I'm not the only bad gardener in the house. Many a plant I have killed as well. Thank God my wife has a green thumb. All right, we're going back out to Zoom land. Kathleen Vance is waiting in the wings there. Good evening, Kathleen.
Okay. So
You sent David off to another room to write a poem, I guess.
Yeah. He's got great timing. Okay, this is I've got these three kids, Parker, Nico, and Maddie, trying to get to Llangollen on the canal boat. And I'm gonna skip a bit and get them there because we got to get there, and I got only 5 minutes. Okay, so they stop at Llangollen, they get out of the boat, and the kids make it up the hill to a place called Plas Neuwyth, and because it's got gardens and they want to walk around and get their land legs. They had just reached the edge of the gardens when they were met with a fantastic sight. A woman in an old-fashioned long, stiff dress with an apron and wearing high heels was running towards them, brandishing a candlestick. She had lots of white hair piled up on her head, and her hair was so heavily powdered that as she ran, huge white clouds wafted up all around her. And behind her were following two ladies wearing long black riding habits, starched white cloths around their necks, enormous shoes, and tall black beaver hats that looked like stovepipes. Parker, Nico, and Maddie turned to run in the opposite direction, but now behind them, they saw the strange, scrawny kid. I told you to beware the ladies of Llangollen, and they've got their servant, Molly the Bruiser, with them. You don't want to know how she got that name. Molly was yelling, "Get out of here. It's bad enough the poor ladies have to have their views spoiled by that monstrous stone building with its noise that drowns out every bird song, every splash of the falls and rippling and gurgling of the streams, and every other natural sound in the valley. We don't want the likes of you here, so get out." Molly held her candlestick up high as she shouted. But Parker, Nico, and Maddie knew the scrawny kid didn't scare easily. "I'm going now, but the new flannel mill's here to stay, and I aim to keep on working there, and there's nothing you lot can do about it." And with an added warning to his three friends to not be taken in by the two ladies and to stay clear of the bruiser, the scrawny kid ran off. Parker, Nico, and Maddie continued up the hill behind Molly and the returning ladies. At the top, the ladies invited them to sit on one of the benches, and then with Molly continued into the house. "They could have invited us in," Maddie complained. "They don't invite most people into their house, and when they do, they often hide out in their dressing room and peer through the doorway at them and make fun of them. Nico had been doing his research. Lots of famous people have been here, like the poet William Wordsworth, the novelist Sir Walter Scott, and the Duke of Wellington, who defeated Napoleon at Waterloo, and most important of all, Sir Humphrey Davy, the great chemist who invented nitrous oxide and called it laughing gas. Parker laughed at that. You'd be happier laughing than screaming in pain. They use nitrous oxide in surgery as an anesthetic. Parker stopped laughing. Well, I'm as good as all those famous people, Maddie said, and marched up to the front door and demanded and was granted admittance. Parker and Nico kept the bench warm until Maddie returned. The house is beautiful, all dark oak and stained glass. I try not to touch anything, but it's hard to. There's so many carvings and angels and dragons and the cats. I couldn't help but try to pet them. No dogs? Parker asked. That's the best part. There was a little dog named Frisk. I'll tell you the story from the beginning. It's so romantic. Just tell me about the dog, Parker said. Just hold your horses. I'm getting to it. Lady Eleanor Butler was the youngest daughter of a rich landowning family. Sarah Punsby was a poor orphan living with her guardian. Both girls met at boarding school. They wrote letters to each other for many years. They became more and more unhappy. Eleanor's mother wanted her daughter to enter a convent, and Sarah's guardian wanted Sarah to marry him. The two women decided to run away. They dressed up as men, and Sarah took her dog and a pistol, and both families pursued them. The women hid in a barn, but the little dogs yapping gave them away, and they were dragged back home. That's the trouble with little dogs. Big dogs are better. They don't yap. Parker knew about dogs. Will you let me tell a story? Eleanor and Sarah wouldn't give up, and their families finally agreed to let them go, and they decided to settle in Llangollen. They have a wonderful life here. They spend all their time improving themselves in their little place in the world. What about the rest of the world? Do they care about that? Oh, yeah, when there was a fire at the mill and the workers were facing poverty and a hard winter, the ladies were the first to donate to a charity for them. I don't want their charity. The scrawny kid was back, and now my 5 minutes are up, and maybe next month you can find out what the scrawny kid has to do and what's the problem with the flannel mill.
Oh, I love you, Kathleen. Yes, this mysterious waif that just keeps following them up the river. There's always a mystery left to be solved. So you leave us hanging once more. Thank you for sharing that, Kathleen. All right, we're going to come back into Char's Landing here, and Peg Evans is going to share some work with us. Good evening, Peg, and welcome back. We'll get you up to the podium there. Makeup already took care of you, so we get them down there. Yeah, there we go.
How's that?
Perfect, perfect. How's it look, Char?
Okay.
We got the good angle. The lights are, it's ideal. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Okay, Jan said, before we go any further, there's just one thing I have to clear up. Please tell me I never tried to convert you. No, never, I replied. Oh, what a relief. That would be humiliating. Jan and I are in the MoMA Cafe. We've recently reconnected via Facebook, having lost touch about 35 years ago. Our group of high school friends had all gone their separate ways and left Lethbridge behind in the literal dust. I had set my sights on a music degree at the University of Victoria. Jan chose Alberta Bible College. But here was Jan living in New York City and serendipitously fortuitously, I was performing in Brooklyn with the Canadian Opera Company. We met and started talking. It was interesting to learn all the things Jan had done and been, but there was something more, an effervescent gleefulness between us, and we weren't even sure why. Jan had done a lot of interesting things. She'd been a minister in Charlottetown, concurrently performing in a successful comedy troupe. She'd left her betrothed days before her wedding, discovered he was still married. Quit the church. Her fiancé had been her co-pastor. Taught visual art in Japan for 6 years. No training, just nerves. Returned to New York City, created a one-woman show that did extremely well in the New York Fringe, got terribly sick, canceled her off-Broadway run, got a job teaching music in Harlem, bought an apartment. Her students performed in Carnegie Hall with Yo-Yo Ma. She was considering moving back to Charlottetown, burned out by Harlem. My trajectory had been much more single-minded. I'd begun as a piano major, quit, dallied in philosophy, completed my degree as a singer. I had married young and stayed married. We had both pursued careers as performers, done advanced studies at Banff, and moved to Toronto. I had a brief solo career before becoming a chorister in the COC and starting a family. I was studying creative writing and pachinko clown. Jan was amazed that we had sustained a marriage while pursuing our individual artistic goals and raising 2 boys. Jan had moved to Lethbridge in grade 8. I already had a tight-knit group of friends, but there was something about Jan that I liked a lot. We recalled the kinds of things we had done together. We recorded improvised radio plays on cassette tapes, no editing at all. We invented dance routines. Neither of us took dance lessons, using Jan's living room picture window as our studio mirror, and performed them in our school talent shows. We wrote short stories, we played piano duets, and once I went with Jan to a teen Bible camp weekend in Calgary. So I guess she had sort of tried to convert me. But the thing that ignited a shared sense of wonderment was the realization that the 2 of us, at age 13, had found and recognized our true essence in each other. Jan and I were, unwittingly, each other's zany, essential muses. Another important memory surfaced, this time from high school. Each fall, our school elected the prettiest, smiliest, most popular grade 12 girl to be Miss LCI Ram, the Rams being our football team. In 1975, Jan and I decided to sabotage this sexist event. We convinced our friends to nominate each other, all 10 of us. We were average-looking, studious, nice, and decidedly not popular. But we were fledgling feminists. We each gave a speech in the cafeteria. Jan's was hilarious, and she won. Jan was crowned Miss LCI Ram. As adults, Jan and I each had successful careers in the arts, and our identities as creative types were solid. But rediscovering the connection we had as young teenagers was oddly affirming. Jan was someone who had actually been there, had known and shared that pure, unbridled creative energy. She knew who I was, who I had been, who I am. We had both left Lethbridge and packed away everything about who we were back then, in a lidded box. But together, unearthing this box, we found something wondrous, something revealing, magical, precious, and we were delighted in it and in each other. Jan and I have continued our friendship since our reunion in 2015. I have visited her in Charlottetown. She has visited me in Toronto and here in Port Alberni. At the end of this month, we will spend a week together at a chalet in Fernie. We do writing exercises together, we scheme, we laugh, we still dance, and most of all, we celebrate each other for who we truly are, who we have always been, and who we are yet to become.
Wow. Beautiful, beautiful. What a lovely testament to a lifelong friendship. That's beautiful. Thank you, Peg, for sharing that. All right, we're going back out to Zoomland now, and David's fresh back from writing that poem. I don't know if he's going to share it with us yet, but I think he's got a piece of prose in hand here.
Yeah. Last time, either the last time or the previous time, I read a piece about a work day, and I said, even at the time, I said, "This is just something. I don't think it's a story." And my editor, my famous editor, I was working on this, and she said, "David, what's the story?" And I was learning about this in theory 50 years ago. Where's the story? But the story has to be, what about the listener, the reader? What about you? What is it? So here is, in the same workplace, is another attempt. And by having the story, thanks to my editor, who's not very far away, here we go. And it has some French in it, and this is me mangling French. Pierrot eased himself out of his little van, scratched his stubbled jaw, and walked stiffly across the dusty workyard, chin up, every day that I knew him 48 years ago. He was not a big man, though he was strong in bones and in endurance. Pierrot had been a mason most of his life, still did masonry in his own time. His face and thick forearms and neck were pale with stone dust. Most mornings up in the village of Vondarg, before he came to work here in Bayarg on the rail line, he would probably have spent an hour splitting and carrying rocks from the pile at his roadside into the bit of land where he was building a house. Evenings, he'd refresh himself with a strong glass of pastis and put in another couple of hours. His proper name was Pierre Macias. People called him Pierrot. I don't know why. He was nobody's clown. And though he had a twinkle in his eye and an almost smile below a bristly moustache, he lived in a trailer on his bit of land on the bone-dry foothills above Vondarg. Every weekend, Pierrot would force his little de chevaux van, its corrugated body a faded blue, the colour of a workman's overalls, would force his little van up the stony tracks of the Maquis hinterland to collect rocks that suited him. Even a small load tortured that little van, but of his own muscles, Pierrot refused to acknowledge pain. Dig, pry, lever, lift, winch, drop, the van lurching and sagging on its thin springs. The Maquis, I asked one lunch break as we squatted in the brush. I was always hungry to connect to this region and to this man of few words. The Maquis, wasn't that the nickname for the resistance during the war? Pierrot and the rest of the crew smiled and winked at each other as they inspected their lunches. Oh, mais ça c'est connu, c'est bien connu. Everyone knows this. The Maquis in France is the high, dry and hilly scrub region, inland from that lush Mediterranean coastline where the rich do no work. The Maquis soil grudgingly supports poor vines, precarious plots of lavender, anise, basil, stunted mimosa, and bare rock, a home to snakes and scorpions. Local hunters here are proud of their familiarity with its dips and peaks and dry gullies, and the dense brush with the wild boar hide. For years, locals in the south boasted that in World War II they had absconded their wild boar rifle up into the Maquis when the Germans came to fight in the resistance. Most of our cable laying crew travelled like a circus from worksite to worksite on contract to Schneider, the giant French civil engineering company. But Pierrot was local and ignored the crew's social life. Schneider, the crew shrugged, belonged to Anne Giscard d'Estaing, the president's wife. Build or repair a railroad, and Mrs. Giscard d'Estaing gets a new racehorse, a new necklace. The rest of our crew came from all over, Algeria, Spain, Belgium, a scattering of French hometowns, and me, the odd one, English. Local Pierrot, he used the phrase du coin when telling us that he or a wine was local. Du coin, literally round the corner. Pierrot was building himself a house, a home here in the Maquis. Not in town, mais non. He said goodbye to towns after his wife died. We didn't ask. A single-story house, every stone of it being hauled and cut and cemented in place by his own hands. He'd been doing the work for 4 or 5 years, and that only after painstakingly clearing and levelling the unforgiving ground. The great army barracks on the edge of Montpellier to the west had been built and rebuilt with stone, Pierrot had worked on that too for years. Masson, c'est moi. His thumb stamped his chest proudly. Depuis mon boulot, Masson, my trade. He'd been working with stones since he was 14. And Bell had driven a tanker truck in an age when there were no power brakes or power steering. He drove to and from the worksite wearing a suede leather jacket, not at all a labourer's garment, and which he carefully draped over a hanger in the station office for the working day. The jacket had a small rip above one pocket, which Pierrot made a point of showing me. The tear was hard to see and had been mended so that it looked more like a fine scar. See, he said, sewn, that is, stitched. See the stitching? You can't see it, can you? The stitching was indeed almost invisible, tight, a single line. Pierrot was immensely proud of it. Had he done it? No, he hadn't done it. Good God, a man doesn't sew. He pointed north. That was done by an old woman in Vendargue, a widow, Madame Pilaffi. She did it. But good stitching, eh? Ça se ne voit pas travailler comme ça. Pierrot, ageless, but probably 60 or 2. He had no other family that I was aware of. We worked together on the railroad, installing power lines, signals, telephones, but he did not consider himself a labourer. Retired from brick and stone work, he was still un maçon and would put in a day's work here and there when he chose on his own terms. One day I flailed a sledgehammer to break up a rock obstruction, missing my target and showering myself with stone splinters. Oh, mais doucement, non. Pierrot was always asking me to take it easy, though being a local, he pronounced it doucement, doucement. It's a watchword among working people in the south of France. It did not mean be lazy. A day's work was best done doucement le matin, pas trop fort l'après-midi. Gently morning, not too hard in the afternoon. Pierrot was not telling me to avoid work, do it gently. Then he took the hammer from my shaking hands, sniffed once, looked hard at the rock, and delivered a precise, gentle blow which split the rock softly in two. Pierrot handed back the hammer and winked, pointing a stubby finger to one eye, and growled proudly, "Maçon, moi, c'est mon boulot à moi," and lit yet another cigarette. At day's end, after we'd all parted in the workyard, ritual handshakes, à demain, demain, Pierrot's lurching deux chevaux van would carry him up to his bit of land on the edge of the maquis, where he would sip a pastis before another steady session of bullying hard rock with calloused hands, building his house stone by stone. He'd do it one day, I was sure. He'd do it. And then, that day, he would put perhaps a couple of chairs outside and a little round table and sit and smoke and sip his drink and take in the view and smile just a little for his victory over the intransigent landscape and his beloved foothills. He would get there in the end, Pierrot would, one day. And I, the odd one, the English, would also learn to keep at it and to respect the keeping and the it.
Bien fait, mon ami. Very good, very good. Your story is in your character. That's where the story is subtly interwoven in that character, and the characters they're wonderful characters and stories in themselves. So your editor's on track.
Don't blame me.
All right. We're going to come back in-house now, and Vicki Drybough is going to share some work with us at the podium. We'll get that mic adjusted and...
We're a team.
Yeah.
We're a team.
Robbie's going to handle the mic technology, and yeah, she's a pro.
Wow, thank you very much.
There we go.
That's great.
Char's adjusting
Can
the
you hear me?
camera.
Is that good?
Test.
Right there?
That right
Oh,
there's.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, this is from my book, and it comes later in the story near the end where Holly has grown up and is now an old woman looking back on the time when they were still together as a family. Sam, it's just a part, so it doesn't stand on its own. Sam and Mum were alike in temperament. I realize that now. And his anger, his true, deep down anger, didn't emerge until he was older. Perhaps it was because I wasn't around him that much after he left the island that I didn't notice it at first. But it was that kind of anger that forms from years of frustration and resentment. It builds inside a person, rooting around, gathering more and more emotional material until it has enough to build a nest, a resting place deep within the person's chest, close to their heart. And the nest is always smoldering, smoking with raw emotion as the anger perches there, waiting to burst forth with unbelievable heat and destruction. The kind of anger that made its home inside my father. We used to have a carved wooden head of a chimpanzee hanging on our living room wall beside the red brick fireplace, level with a heavy fir mantelpiece. It was painted and varnished and measured about the size of a coffee mug. A hole had been carved deep into the top of its head where wooden matches could be kept. My father had bought it at a tobacconist's when he was shopping without my mother. He was pleased with his purchase and filled the hole with matches, ready to use to light his pipe or a fire in the fireplace. It was a safe place to keep matches out of the reach of his 9-month-old daughter, who was always getting into things. My mother, of course, hated it at first sight and threw up her hands at the presence of the unsightly thing that belonged in a smoking car or some beer parlor. The point, I am certain of it now, was that he had vulgar taste and no idea what was appropriate in their living room. The fact was, he was already shaping it into a man's room with dark wood paneling, a deer head on the wall, 2 overstuffed easy chairs covered with Indian blankets to hide their age, and a reading lamp beside his chair, the only lamp in the room. It resembled the sitting room of a small hunting lodge. The chimp's head fit in quite nicely. A few months went by, and one afternoon, in front of everyone, including 2 ladies visiting from Victoria, I finally noticed the chimp's head, pointed to it, and said, "Dada." I remember nothing of this, but it became my mother's favorite story, and she told it to every neighbor who dropped by. Shaking with laughter, she would impress upon them the irony of the first time I said "Dada" was to the head of a chimpanzee. It was, I'm sure, her vengeance for having to put up with the ugly thing. My father, who was quite vain about his looks, was not amused. I'm told he left his tea and favorite lemon tarts to go outside and chop wood. Years later, I remember standing in front of it, thinking how right I was to call the chimp with matches in its head Dada, because that dark place, deep inside where anger waits, needs a spark, a match to light it up so it can race through your body and make it heave and roar and snap and clench until all the energy is gone and the fire goes out, leaving the person empty and exhausted. Until the next time a look, a laugh, a careless word ignites another match, and it starts all over again. I wonder if my father ever looked at the chimp and saw himself reflected there, a man full of anger with matches in his head.
Beautiful. Thank you, Vicki. I think that stands alone. But just imagine how good the whole book would be, right? Yeah. Fabulous. All right, we're going to go back out into Zoom land, and Jennifer Wenn is standing in the wings in snowy Ontario. I don't know whether the snow made it to London or not.
Oh, heavens, yes.
Yeah, good.
We've already, by the uh, 20 centimeters or more exceeded the usual annual snowfall.
Wow.
To this point. And it's cold. We've had a string of days where the high has been -10 or below. Yeah, it got down to -23 or 4 one morning. It's
wow.
No, this has been a winter that goes back a few decades. This one.
Yeah. Brutal.
Yeah, I'm going to do the first piece. I did this awfully quickly for me, but I wanted to put it out there. It's which I just did. I posted it in my own page for Alex Preddy. So obviously thinking.
I was hoping you'd read that.
Yeah, I know you've seen this with Derek. So this is for Derek. It could have been me. No, not the ICU nurse who instinctively stepped between thug and victim to shield, to rescue. I'm not that strong, not that selfless, but heartlessly hurled to the frozen pavement, in need of his kind hand, in need of his words of compassion. Yes, that could have been me. Then to watch horrified as my Samaritan is first pummeled, then blasted full of holes by modern brown shirts metastasized into executioners. Then to read the cesspool of lies spewed by a tyrant and his torchbearers. Somewhere in a deep, fiery pit, their mentors smile and nod in approval and recognition. Space is reserved for new arrivals. Alex's life here was wiped out by inhumanity incarnate, but the memory cannot be killed. Nothing can void his sacrifice. Nothing can erase that moment of grace. That transcendent spirit is undying. Thank you. For the second one, I'm going to share my screen. There. Now, the poem is called Les Pâques, which translates out of the French into Easter, and it's after the painting by Marc Chagall, 1968, and the musical response by George Crumb, 2018 to 2020. This was fairly recently published in an online chapbook, courtesy of Public Reverie. The chapbook was called Double Ekphrastics, and this is maybe the prime example of that within the little set that was in this online chapbook. And in connection with it, I wrote a blurb, pulling the veil back a bit. So I'm just going to read the blurb and then I'll do the poem, which isn't very long. This poem is what I call a double ekphrastic, in that it responds both to George Crumb's music and through him to Marc Chagall's painting. Chagall was Jewish, but he titled this painting Les Pâques in the original French, which translates to Easter. Interestingly, Les Pâques is etymologically very close to La Pâque, the French term for the Jewish observance of Passover. Perhaps not surprisingly then, in spite of the Christian title of Chagall's painting, his imagery is Jewish and references Passover extensively. George Crumb wrote 2 sets of pieces known as Metamorphoses 1 and 2. These short pieces, 10 in each set, responded to 20 different paintings that meant a lot to him. Well, Crumb never openly espoused any particular religious viewpoint. He was deeply spiritually inclined, as shown by his oeuvre, and one of the paintings he responded to was Chagall's Les Pâques. I am not Jewish. My family tradition is the United Church of Canada, although Crumb's approach certainly resonates. But this piece of Chagall's definitely speaks to me as well, especially with Crumb's help. Inspired by Chagall's imagery, including that connected to Passover, and Crumb's musical portrait of it, I have tried to weave my own poetic response into a whole that can stand on its own. So hopefully that makes sense. It's both the painting and the musical response. You can go and listen to it. I've tried to weave all that together in a response. So the poem. Extraordinary collage. Fierce martial beats proclaim lethal peril, angelic form, yet death on the wing, dueling with bright tones from on high, gift of sacred red and green stained glass, paired with a protective goat, its bust bathed in divine yellow, emanating bold, brilliant arpeggios, warning vision boring into destruction's minion. Ghostly echoes carry me down to earthly home, bird alights on a roof under full moon, low and huge. Villagers stroll in monochrome light or watch from a doorway, lamp glowing in the window, all melded into a gentle tune. Suddenly hammered by a crushing chord, doom passing over, once, twice, the melody living still, devout thanks given at the Seder, eyes to the battle in the heavens.
Beautiful. Beautiful, Jen. Thank you. And thank you for putting that up on the screen. That was helpful too. To have
Yeah, it took a while to disentangle this poem, but once I got it, I found it really striking.
Yeah, totally. Amazing. Thank you.
So I've got to get rid of there, stop share. There we go.
Okay. All right. So did you have another one, or is that it for this evening?
Oh. Sorry, that's it.
That's it. Okay. All right. It was. Karl told me it was past 5 minutes anyway, so we're all good. Thank you so much, Jen. That was good. All right. Where are we going now? We're coming back in-house, and Robbie Wenn is going to come up to the podium and share some of her work with us. Some poetry, some song. Good evening, Robbie.
Good evening, one and all. And I'm glad I don't live in Toronto. We had a high of 6, I believe, and a low of 2, with a little bit of rain today. So I much prefer it coming down in liquid form rather than the snowy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So this is from part of Alice. Crumbling at the hole, she falls. Everything's a tumble way beyond her own control. Oh, how Alice trembled, going round and round and round and round. She woke up sitting here. Wonderland's a place of dreams. All beauty, love, not fear. Everywhere there's flowers, trees as tall as towers, birds that dance from limb to limb and build their nest in bowers. A rat-a-tat-tat of a woodpecker's taps as a rabbit is rubbing his hands. Everybody yearns for love here in Wonderland. Oh, Alice, you're late, you're late, you're late, you're late. As late as you can be. Welcome to the island, my dear. Rabbit Cottontail here, procurer of spectacular worthy treats at your service. The party's at whatever o'clock. Don't be late. I'm the host and speaker at that Mad Hatter's Tea Party, and this eventide by the by. Do not interrupt my speech. It'll make me later than it normally is. It's easy to find just and follow the path. There's left, right there where it says this way or that way. There's also the other way. It'll be clear to you when you get there. It's a paradise of fun. So many things to do and see. Oh, it's a vision, really. Alice must be off. So follow the path through the wild woods. Bye-bye. See you later. Cheerio. Adios. Ta-ta. I must be... Oh, I'm late. I'm so late. Hasta la vista. Ciao. So long. Oh, I'm so late. Silly me. I just keep prevaricating and procrastinating. I do. What a silly rabbit. He's always in a dither. What a funny bunny sitting on his withers, giving her the points of life where everybody's a winner. Come live here in Wonderland where rabbits aren't for dinner. Leave my troubles far behind me from facing at my fears, and I'm feeling oh so fine, drying up my tears. A blackbird sings a flash of wings and the moon and stars at night. You've landed here in paradise. Oh, what a wonderful sight. Isn't it amazing? Let love find a path. All the world is newly born, Alice Gibson laughs. She finds herself alone at last beneath a swaying tree. Then suddenly a Cheshire cat appears, saying hello there, looking rather pleased. Now I'm contemplating wanderers, taking a complicated wit, refining tastes of quirks, for sure the herb at last was lit. The temporal lobe of the temperate zone is a choice place to explore. You'll always find just what you need in nature's herbal store. Oh, the sun in the sky as it floats on high, and the peace and the quiet and breeze. It's a quiet big sigh, the heron's big cry, and the soul of the soul, the sing of a soul at ease. Feel the magic drift and the laughing lift and the glow and the joy of all. For here, in Wonderland, Alice is having a ball. Why worry about tomorrow when now is all you have? Life's a great adventure, just add a fine pizzazz. You'll leave your woes and worries behind you. When speaking to the trees, happiness is what we share, and life can be a breeze. Caterpillars puffing, a cloud above the head. The nerves they calm and fear is gone, living love instead. Behind the eyes, the mind's alight, singing of its charms. I can see forever while sitting in heaven's arms. God, it moves me forward to leave the past behind. Healing music fills my soul, opening my mind. The world spins and I can dream a fated destiny. I have come to change the world, my friend, and love is leading me. Alice watches closely. The caterpillar cracks, spinning a little wider, then suddenly springs back. The butterfly, it speaks at last. It's heaven to be free. I'll stretch my wings and learn to fly, for love is changing me. Periwinkles winking back. Give them all a smile. Life can be a wondrous thing after all those horrid trials. And with a spring in my step and a spin and a twirl, I'm floating on a cloud, swinging on a superstar with flowers as my crowd.
Perfectly timed and perfectly rhymed. Thank you. Yes, indeed. You make me want to try some shrooms again. All right. Okay, we're going out to Zoomland, and Mark is tuning up his guitar there. Good evening, Mark. Nice to have you back amongst us.
Yes, I have my teeth out, and now I'm back. But yeah, I was sorry to miss it all. Gosh. Anyways,
we're going to need a little more volume. Just hang on there.
How can I do that? Does this help? Does that help?
Yeah, keep dialing that up.
Oh yeah, that does help. Oh my goodness. Okay, we'll try that.
Half a notch more there, Mark.
Half a notch more.
Yeah.
Goodness. Okay.
Good. Yeah.
I should explain just a little bit. My mom lives in Winnipeg, and she's 95, and she lives in an apartment on her own. And she, I talked to her on the phone quite a bit, and she went across the street to the bus stop, and she had to go to the bus stop because she wanted to. When the bus came, now this is a little while ago because I had to make up this song and learn it and stuff, and hopefully I remember it. But anyway, she asked the bus driver, "Where do you go?" And he said, "We go all the way to the north end and back." And so she got on the bus. Now I should explain. She immigrated to Winnipeg in 1951, and she's lived there all her life. And when you come to Winnipeg, when you're an immigrant, a lot of times back then, especially, you move to the north end. That was the area of town you moved to. She lives in the south end now. And anyway, she told me all about the trip. She went on the trip, and she told me all the things that were there, and all the stuff that isn't there anymore, and what the people are like, and how they're different, and how they're the same, and that kind of thing. So I got to thinking about it. Sometimes when I think about things, I end up with a song, and sometimes I think a lot more than I actually make up songs. But anyways, that's... She asked the driver, how far do you go? All the way to the north end. There and back takes 3 hours or so. I have time, she thought. Though now she often wondered if time was like a friend whose days were numbered. A seat in the middle. She wanted the view. It all goes by so fast. 3 hours and a lifetime too. And they roll down the streets that she used to know, grown over with twists and turns and time and bones. There are moments that matter, for you realize they do before you turn away to whatever's new. And there's only so many. Maybe that's why you always wish for one more ride. She began talking in her mind to her friends who were gone. She wondered how it was that she lived this long. And she saw the old drugstore where she and Hilda had bought a package of X-Lax that they mistook for chocolate. And there was the old schoolyard where the kids used to play. It was all bright eyes and wide smiles and skin knees in those days. And then they passed through another old neighborhood and the empty lot where the room and house once stood. There are moments that matter, for you realize they do before you turn away to whatever's new. And there's only so many. Maybe that's why you always wish for one more ride. She thought how love grows wherever it can, amongst a tender wish on a hopeful branch in that room and house that used to be. He sat on the steps when she came home from the sewing factory. His eyes, she thought, they seemed so kind, so she felt he would be too. And she was right. If he were still alive, he would sit by her side and they would ride. They would ride. There are moments that matter, for you realize they do before you turn away to whatever's new. And there's only so many, and maybe that's why you always wish for one more ride. All these years on a bus filled with strangers, some of whom she'd come to know, but most just fellow travelers. She learned you can't stop time, or those you love from dying. You can't cure loneliness, but it's sure worth the trying. There are moments that matter, for you realize they do before you turn away to whatever's new. And there's only so many. Maybe that's why you always wish for one more ride. At the end of the route, the bus driver asked, "Did you enjoy yourself?" And she lightly laughed and said, "Yes, I did."
That was beautiful, Mark. Absolutely beautiful. What a lovely tribute to your mom.
Yeah.
And something all of us aging folk can definitely relate to.
Yeah, I'm kidding. Yeah.
Going back to places where you grew up is painful sometimes and beautiful at the same time. You captured it all there.
Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you.
So you and Peter Paul Van Camp have a show coming up. Do you want to tell us about that? Where
Yeah, we do
happening?
actually. Yeah, I know he's at I know he has another commitment tonight, but we're playing in North Saanich. It's a house concert. If anybody's near there, North Saanich. Well, if you need information, just send me a note or something, but I think it's on Facebook somewhere. It's a house concert on February 7th. It's a Saturday. It's in the evening. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to that.
Well, lucky people who'll get a whole evening of you and Peter Paul Van Camp.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay. All right, Georgia, you wanting to share some poetry? Yeah, come on up, Georgia. Hey, welcome to the Electric Mermaid. So grateful that Georgia is here tonight, going to share some of her work with us. Yeah. Robie, can you get the microphone there? Just that one for? Super. Yeah. Yeah.
Pretend it's like lipstick. You gotta get.
Okay.
Yeah. Stay close to that. Yeah, you bet. That's good, Georgia. Thank you.
Okay. I just started poetry, so I don't have long poems. Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I have a couple. So.
All right.
This one is called I Remember. I remember COVID-19, when everyone was just like me. I remember crying, daily dying, dreams of flying. I remember being trapped, like a rat chased by a cat. I remember running, hiding, chasing the horizon. I remember suffocation by cotton masks, nowhere to go, awake to get away from the mess. I remember the shelves, how we took everything for ourselves. I remember the fatality. Is this what we call reality? I remember hanging with the pots and the pans,
Stay close to the mic there. Yeah. Good.
Can I restart?
Good. Oh, good.
Do I have time?
Yeah. Lots of time.
I remember COVID-19, when everyone was just like me. I remember crying, daily dying, dreams of flying. I remember being trapped like a rat chased by a cat. I remember running, hiding, chasing the horizon. I remember suffocation by cotton masks, nowhere to go to get away from the mess. I remember the shelves, how we took everything for ourselves. I remember the fatality. Is this what we call reality? I remember banging the pots and pans to praise every working woman and man. I remember the times our lives were changed, and now everything feels so estranged.
Beautiful.
In this world of will, time stands still. The words which kill no longer spill. Time that stops, hearts that drop, flesh that rots. Gosh, I have a lot. Make a tweak, change the weak. Blood will leak, feeling numb and bleak. In the future, I will have found the cure for the impure, the ones who were. I changed the estranged to be renamed, the renewed. Rid the Spanish flu, the dark hue. Only a few it takes to get a break, forward face and reset pace. Time sits and stands still, and when it resumes, I will too.
Awesome.
Time of bloom. Proven solutions for a growing world. Days are longer and the sun shines brighter, tending to what's already there. The right amount of care at the right time. There are few rituals where it's necessary. Removing the dead, dying, broken, or decaying. Maintain clearness and sightliness. Let light find what was hidden.
Lovely.
Up high, soaring through the sky. Oh, why can't I? Why do I want to die? Cut the tie which holds me close and nearby. Brittle and brine glows with a salty shine. Why won't you just be mine? Why, oh why? I whine and whine. Wish I was in my prime. The finish line, it's not yet the time. I pour the sugar and pour the lime. Only walking in a straight line, never aligned with all the signs, which shows me I will never have those blue eyes. I only wish I could know her eyes. I wish I could let her know that she isn't sly, and that I'm the one and the only smart guy.
Super.
Close your eyes, now you try. Breathe the air, you braid your hair. Feel the strands and you stand. Grounded feet, my heart beats. Feel the wind while you spin. Feel the dizzy, keep from the busy. Relax your mind. What do you find? Relax your body and feeling oddly. Well, I feel, I can't peel. The skin off my face, my arms, my legs. Well, I feel, I will kneel as the tears fall from my eyes. I gotta find it, sorry. I want to feel good. Not okay, not fine, good. I want to feel it. Heart racing, upturned lips, happy. I need to feel it. Stomach turned, sugar high, excited. I desire to feel it. The eyes widen, mouth drop, shock. I long to feel it. Stomach knotted, tears pouring, sad. I yearn to feel it. Hair standing, nail biting, scared. Can I please feel something? Not numb, not blank, emotions. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Georgia, for having the courage to get up there. That was wonderful. Well done. Yes, there we go. You're starting young, just like Ronna there. Before you know it, you'll be just writing full time and be writing poems on the spot for people. Wonderful. Okay, we're going to go back out to Zoomland now, and Cynthia Sharp has been waiting in the wings. Hello again, Cynthia. Good evening. So glad to have you here.
This was such a wonderful evening. So I have 3 pieces from my Zen of Poetry writing guidebook, and I just put the book link in the chat. So kind of Zen poetry and prompts combination. Breathe deeply, nature's inner world. Breathe deeply, moments in the stillness. What the moss on the maple tells us, or each angle of sunlight reveals. And remember to let the trees and flowers and colors speak. That's for getting in. These are my prompts for getting into the writing zone. This one is especially for Port Alberni because it's just so beautiful there. This is Earth Medicine. When sunlight permeates rainforest winter and blackbirds ascend from violet bark, cumulus drift into ancient dragonflies, floating free in the wind. On those rare days, when the blue in the raven's wings shines in the light, go through the open doors. And the last one is a writing prompt in the form of a poem. What stories are in your hands? When you look at your palms, what stories do they hold? What spirits have you loved? What work have you done? What have your hands built? What children have they held? Have they washed dishes, served coffee, poured tea, painted pictures, cleaned the containers, wiped down the room? Have they soothingly filtered sand or tenderly touched the smooth ocean-washed stones by the sea? What strength is in your fingertips? Do they lightly brush the hair from a child's eyes, press deeply into the strings of a guitar, gently caress your partner's skin? What stories are in your hands? So that's a writing prompt if anyone has energy after this. Thank you for allowing me to share those.
Poetic palmistry. Thank you so much, Cynthia. The wonderful poems, as always. So a reminder, Zen of Poetry is her new book, and well worth picking up. And we have it in the chat here, and people here at Char's can't see that, so just come see Karl if you want to get access. All right. I think we've come to the end of the open mic, except for me, so I'll pop up and wind us up with one short reading here. A few times. Yeah. All right. Well, I got to start off saying what a great evening it's been. Really some super stuff and inspiring. So I'm going to start off by reading a poem actually that Cynthia inspired. I went to her book launch and listened to her read, and it triggered some memories of a few things. And about how nature reveals so much to us if we just stop and look and listen. It's called Pulling Thistles. How perfectly the sky holds space for us, and the fir trees standing still. The grasses paused mid-ripple as if to watch us, paused to listen. A pulled thistle in one gloved hand, as if they longed for us to know what they know. The green world twinkling with a secret. A sudden hum arrives to catch the sun, flashes a ruby in the air, then gone. we turn back to the thistles at hand, their stubborn roots, the canopy of plants loved equally by sun and rain. Thank you. I've joined a book club, and we're doing the Art of Dreaming, a book that encourages you to explore the deeper meanings of your dreams through artistic expression. And so I'm, of course, writing poetry around my dreams, and been struggling with this other story I'm working on. I almost feel blocked on it, and then I had this dream, which is like a recurring dream, and you'll get the story from inside the poem here. It's called Unnecessary Baggage. In the recurring dream, I come to in the dark room of the exam, with Dr. Grant presiding, my fellow students still asleep, the last section of my English 200 exam blank. A familiar panic flutters in my gut, with time siphoning out and the room too dark to write. But here on the desk, 2 lamps and a larger fluorescent tube. I reach for their switches one after another, but only stubborn darkness as I struggle to begin the final section, my scrawl barely legible, the time and air being sucked from the room. In this rerun of a 42-year-old trauma, the only exam where I ran out of time. Perfect metaphor for the angst I carry, like a suitcase into the twilight of my days, struggling to find light in a world gone too dark altogether. Or perhaps the root of the writer's block that dogs me on and off, the need to make each piece perfect as a holy sonnet. And what of Dr. Grant, my favorite prof? Wise old Christian existentialist who danced us through the centuries of literature as if it were an English garden in full fragrance. The blooms alight with spiritual insights, the foliage on fire with wit and craft. What could bring him to this dream, and what do I want for Dr. Grant to grant me? Approval, wisdom, light? And is this the luggage I drag towards my death, a childhood need for acceptance, confirmation of my knowledge and skill? And what might Sigmund make of that long fluorescent tube without the juice it needs to turn it on? A flagging libido, the poverty of blood to stoke the wand or fill the page. But what if in the dream, instead of panicking, I welcomed the fecund dark, appreciated all the sections of the exam complete, allowed my fellow students their own dreaming sleep, pronounced myself complete, and surrendered my exam without a second thought for pass or fail. Perhaps the lights would snap on, and Dr. Grant would hold the door and reach to shake my hand, the one that dragged unnecessary baggage down the hall and deep into my dreams. And I'll end with a short one. I think we live in a, it's cliche to say, a unique time. A time where I think we're witnessing everything about to fall apart. And, you know, that's terrifying, but I have found that as long as we look to what's going to come out of this in the long run, and what's going to replace those systems that have dearly failed so many people in this world, I remain hopeful. So, this poem is what we can say. That we lived through a time of dissolution. That the clay with less glow ruled the day. In Rome, that's what they would call people who weren't so smart. Well, that's clay with less glow, right? So, that the clay with less glow ruled the day, kept us locked in this cycle of breaking and building, building and breaking, that we hated it but felt powerless to change it. That singing in any language can be tender and a place to begin. That the best was often hidden and the worst became our daily bread. But we never gave up hope. And when we came together, we knew good was possible, even in the face of dissolution. That clay with less glow has light in it, even if it doesn't know it. That paying attention to the light makes it shine brighter, the way children grow in the face of praise. That one day our heart's intentions will be visible to everyone we meet, and loneliness will drive the selfish to generosity. That waiting wasn't easy, and getting there took work. That we did the work, and it was worth it. So keep doing the work out there, all you writers. That's creativity is a big part of it, right? And through creativity, we come to know who we are, and we grow, and our light shines ever brighter. So keep on shining. That was a wonderful evening. I want to thank everybody who participated, all our open micers and all our listening audience. We appreciate having you here and enjoying the work that's being shared. Big shout out to Ronna. I think she's gone now, but anyway, that was a wonderful feature that we had tonight. It was a real treat to hear her work. Of course, a big shout out to Char for hosting us. Thank you, and running all that wild technology that would outfox me pretty quickly. Thank you to Sheila for running the bar as always and keeping us fed, watered, tea in the pot. And we're going to have a mystery feature reader in February. Thank you, Karl, for being our moderator and keeping us on track here tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Karl.
So until the fourth week of February, stay safe, everyone. Stay hopeful. Keep writing, and we'll hopefully see you here.
Derek.
My pleasure.
Bye, Lesli. Go to sleep.
I will. Okay. Night.
Good night.
Have a good night. Bye night. Good night, Leslie.
Night.
Get some rest now. Bye, Jennifer. Bye, everybody else.
Good night, all.
Bye, everybody.
Yes.